Today is a glorious one for this university. We have been doing this and we continue to do it. This morning, the Vice Chancellor will be declaring open this bumper harvest. Joining him to do it this morning is our Acting Director, Directorate of University Funds, Dr. Emmanuel Bankole. Can we give him a round of applause?
Just a foretaste of dynamics of diversities evolving in the quest of Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, Funaab'S, achieving beyond its tripodal mandate of teaching, research, and extension services as a citadel of learning sensitive to meeting immediate human needs. In order to accomplish these goals, the university has taken bold steps not only to turn around or revolutionize the practice of agriculture, but also to change the academic focus of its product to becoming big-time professionals relevant to the society in line with modern trends and well sought after in the agro-allied value chain. The institution is blessed with another erudite scholar occupying the leadership seat, Professor Olushola Babatunde Kende, FGSN, FIHS, FASN, who is prosecuting an incisive but innovative program to complement federal government's battle to resolve the food crisis facing the nation through an agricultural revitalization program, the aim of which is geared towards zero hunger.
When I came on board, yes, I prioritized agricultural revitalization because in our school anthem, there is a line there, said the School of Farming, Science, Skills. And you see, these are things we hold high. As a university, we have a tripodal mandate: teaching, research, and community engagement. And these are things that we are trying day by day, irrespective of the challenges we're facing, to actualize our mandates. And part of this is the issue of agricultural revitalization. Primarily, we were not really set up to feed Nigeria, per se, to produce graduates, mostly in agriculture. We have other allied areas like engineering, veterinary medicine, sciences, that we churn out every year. And every year for the past few years, we've been churning out these graduates 4,002, 4,005, 4,007 every year. And then community engagement. We're supposed to also serve our community, relate well with them in a way that they will feel that the university has impacted them positively. But allied to this is the area of food production, contributing our quota to food security in Nigeria. To do this, it requires a lot of things for us to contribute meaningfully to food production. Agriculture, like you know, sirs, is now a business. It's not just about going to the farm and using cutlass and hoe to just make some subsistent living. No. And more so, we were given a land space here that should enable us to contribute meaningfully to agricultural food production. And that's 10,200 hectares of land. It's massive, and we appreciate government for this. But beyond land availability, there are also some things that we will need, some other resources, equipment, finance, manpower especially. But over the years, these are things that we've been lacking. In other words, we don't have enough of these resources to be able to go into commercial agriculture, that people will feel the impact. It's our desire to do that. We train students, and in training our students, we want to expose them to the best that they can get in terms of training. We have the land, we have the manpower in terms of teaching and research. But in terms of food production, real commercial agriculture, it will take a lot to be able to do this. And so when I came on board, I decided that what we should do is to partner with private organizations. Those who have the resources, the financial resources, to be able to go into commercial agriculture, partner with them, so that what we have, we bring to the table. And what do we have? We have land, we have some expertise, we have the personnel that can assist them in actually carrying out this production. And then they will also bring what they have to the table. That is, they have some resources, financial resources, they have the money. Some have connections that they can bring to the table, and when we combine this, it will be to the benefit of the nation as a whole. We are under the Ministry of Agriculture, and I think federal government decided to do that deliberately, so that we will partner with the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security to be able to contribute even to what FMAFS is doing. And so we have decided that we would like to open ourselves up to the private sector and say, look, you are welcome. We are ready to partner with you. And when we partner, when we join together, the nation will be the better for it. Our people will be the better for it. This we started early last year. We want to thank God because between then and now, we have had many, I won't say numerous for now, many organizations that have shown interest, that have decided that, oh, you people, you are in the ivory tower, you know, and many of them came with the intention of, you people just want to sit in your tower, you want to be aloof and all of that, but we said no, we are ready to partner with them. So we started that. About 8, we have gone into partnerships, serious partnerships, to the extent of having MOUs with them. About 8 of them. Can mention companies like Harvest Field, Asset Rice, Oxano Farms, Nolap Farms, even our own alumni association. We have partnered with them. I can mention Musachi Farms in the area of vegetable and food production. So all these have come to us. We sat down, we discussed, and that discussion included, of course, all the legal things that we have to tidy up so that it will be a win-win situation. Win-win for all concerned. The university will win in the sense that, one, we will even have this fulfillment that what government has given to us, we are judiciously utilizing them. In other words, they gave us 10,000 hectares. Before now, hardly have we used 1,000. The core that we're having, our lecture rooms, the offices and all of that, maybe around 600-700 hectares. And then to some other areas where we are doing some practical agriculture and all of that. So let's just say maybe around 10% in use for an institution that is 36 years old, established 1988. And so we'll be happy that yes, we're using this. Number 2, that we're touching lives. We're producing for the people to be able to benefit from. And you see, the situation is now even that not just the people now, organizations are really eager to benefit from what will come from here. So it will serve to do all of that, and of course along the line we will also get some funds to the university coffers in terms of internally generated revenue. And for the companies that will be doing this, they too will fulfill this desire to contribute to national food production. I give you an example. Asset Rice is owned by a young man who thought of, meeting the needs in terms of yam for Nigeria. He got to a point that before, about 4 or 5 years ago, a tuber of yam was around 300, 350 naira. In fact, then we were shouting, it's well of yam. Normally, 6 should be around 500 naira. And gradually, 350. Later, 700, 1,000. Yam became 1,000 per tuber. Yam became 4,000 per tuber. Yam became 7,000 per, and the people cried out. So the man said, look, he has done some studies, and he has even done some practical experiences. He has some practical experiences in cultivating yam for about 3-4 seasons. And he came and said, look, let's partner 100 hectares for yam only. I will do it, and we'll harvest it within a space of 10-11 months, and this will be sold to people. There are markets already available. And so we went into partnership with them. Right now, the project is on ground. We have planted the yams. We are getting the yam seeds that we are going to also transplant, and land preparation is on. Our Harvest Field is a company owned by a Nigerian, a committed patriot who has been in agriculture. Harvest Field is a company that produces agrochemicals, and instead of the imported agrochemicals that are now costing 12,000, 15,000 per liter, is making it cheaper. But he said, beyond producing agrochemicals, we also want to get involved in practical production.
The Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academic, Professor Olukayode Dewomi Akinyemi lends credence to this initiative of the 7th Vice Chancellor of Funaab.
The Vice Chancellor, I will call him a champion of agricultural revitalization. Recall that he was the Deputy Vice Chancellor of Development before he became the acting Vice Chancellor, and then eventually he became the Vice Chancellor, the 7th Vice Chancellor of this great university. And so, and as the Deputy Vice Chancellor of Development, most of the activities that are in the purview of that office, they have to do with agricultural revitalization, development, marketing the university, collaborations, partnerships, and expanding the frontiers of the university for other collaborators to come in. So, and that's why he thinks revitalization, he breathes revitalization, he wakes revitalization, he sleeps revitalization, everything.
Deputy Vice Chancellor, Development, Professor Kola Adebayo, highlights how Funaab is executing this program.
Look, there are 3 broad roles that our university, the Federal University of Agriculture, is playing in the food situation in Nigeria at the moment. The first is in the provision of high-level manpower, properly trained agricultural graduates who could be able to graduate and fit from the middle level to the high level of manpower requirement for the agricultural sector. That's one area. And we've taken a slight deviation from our initial curriculum to be able to address this. That slight deviation is to now place more emphasis on commercial agriculture. So, and we are doing that in partnership with a number of private sector operators, so that in some cases our students will go to their commercial farms to spend time to learn how to run proper commercial farms. In other cases, we establish some of those larger farms. When I say larger farms, they are larger than our traditional unit of farms for training agricultural students. So traditionally, we might use a 2-hectare or 1-hectare farm to do the training of about 500 students. But now, we are beginning to engage students on 100-hectare farms, on 7-hectare farms, on 50 heads of cattle. These are things that were not in the traditional curriculum, that under the leadership of current Vice Chancellor, Professor Obi Kennedy, we find it necessary to be able to mitigate the food situation, both in the immediate terms and in the long term. The second area is in the kind of research that we do now. The research that we do in the university now focuses on those that are easily translatable to improving food situation on the table of Nigerians. So, for instance, we now have commercial rabbit production, commercial mushroom production, commercial development of a local breed of chicken that we have improved in quality both for laying and for meat. To bring all of this into commercial production is different from the initial research that we did to establish that those things are feasible. So we have been using our research funds, both in the institutional-based research and the National Research Fund, from TED Fund. We have been using them to ensure that the gradation between basic research and applied research into commercial ventures, the gap between those are filled by the main line of research that we are doing. So we now have many of those operational research going on our campus beyond our traditional basic and applied research that we normally have been doing if the situation is not where it is. The third level is our engagement with community. We have the Agricultural Media Resources and Extension Center, AMREC, of the university, and we also have a number of demonstration opportunities where we invite farmers from outside our campus to come to our campus to witness some of the new technologies that are being developed on our campus that is relevant to their practices on the field. And we have taken that a bit further into post-harvest systems. So, for instance, there's a new private sector partner with the Ogun State government handling the rice processing facility at Ashero. They have been here to say, look, Funaab, we know you have some relevant technologies in product preservation, in product packaging, in products handling. We need your services in that regard. So this kind of town and gown relationship is the third leg of our primary mandate that we are currently doing. So from time to time we hear that products from these 4 types of farms are available for sale. The other thing that we have also done is to now expand our sales network beyond our campus. Traditionally, all that we do on those farms are sold within our campus for our staff and students. But we have gone beyond that now, and we are making this available to members of the public.
According to Professor Akinyemi, all these things are complement of the university's academic content.
DVC academic, I actually focus on the teaching mandate of the university, as well as the research mandate of the university. And the two of them are actually interwoven. And the idea is that whatever you teach, you research on. And whatever you also research on, you teach. In this university, what makes university very thick is that we carry out what we call demand-driven research. And by demand-driven research, it means that we are trying to teach our students to be relevant in the society so that they can also contribute to the solutions to the problems of Nigeria, so that they can also provide solutions, especially in the area of food security, as you rightly said. So in terms of our curriculum, we design our curriculum in such a way that we also bring in these ideas of agricultural revitalization. We design our curriculum in such a way that we make the teaching of our courses to be demand-driven. So it's not just that you just go to the classes as lecturers and then you start to teach students based on the curriculum that is as old as Methuselah. So what we do is that we try to tinker with the curriculum to make it very relevant and current. And because the mandate of the present administration has to do with agricultural revitalization, we also now bring that into the curriculum of our courses that we do. So when we go to classes, you teach, whether you teach physics, or you teach chemistry, or teach veterinary medicine, or teach engineering, you have something at the back of your mind. You are trying to tackle the problem of hunger and contribute very significantly to the issue of food security in Nigeria. And as academics also, whatever research you do, either in the area of engineering, you try to link it up to agriculture as much as possible so that you can also help to tackle the issue of food hunger and also provide solutions to food security. You are in core sciences, you are in even those of them who are in College of Entrepreneurial Development Studies, which was formerly College of Management Sciences, in economics, banking and finance, and all of that. So whatever research they do, whatever teaching they do, they also bring some of these components into it. So they are so much related and interwoven. We have also keyed into the vision of agricultural revitalization in academic components, both for undergraduate students and postgraduate students. So we are very complementary to it, and we have also seen it as one of the mandates that we have to carry out.
Large-size demonstration firms are fast becoming part of the campus's lifestyle, with students and communities far and near the main beneficiaries. In another instance, Funaab is the first to embrace smart agriculture in its curriculum. The university has a smart brooding system donated by the National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, based in Abuja. The Director, Center for Community-Based Farming Scheme, COPFAS, Funaab, Professor Sunday Adibo, explains how this center has become a game changer in catching the youth to imbibe agriculture as a career path and the significance of smart agriculture.
This center is saddled with responsibility of training students on the farm. It's practical, serious, student work experience. So having spent 3 years in the class, the 4th year they are on the farm. So we take them from the class and then expose them to the practical. The current one, this session, we expose them to leafy vegetable during the dry season using irrigation and fadama, aquaro. And we grew vegetable of maybe I think 2 types. We planted wedu and amaranth at first. And they also planted tomato. And those ones we harvested earlier. Currently on the farm, we have maize, we have rice planted by them. Sometimes we use a machine to plant for them. And then we also use machine to plow, conventional, large scale. So currently we have 2 hectares of tomato, 8 hectares of maize, and then about 1.5 hectares of rice. It's not upland, it's inland valley. So those are the crops that we have on the ground. Okay. Then for livestock, we currently expose them to goat and sheep as part of the ruminant, cattle as part of the ruminant, and as part of the monogastric, we have chicken, that is poultry, we have a rabbit, and we have pig. Our poultry is unique, if not one of the first in this country. You can be in your house and be seeing the poultry. We call it smart brooder. That center, that pen is equipped with instrumentation that, with internet, with IOU, that will enable you to monitor the farm anywhere in the world. You can see it. If the chicken, if the pen is too hot, you see the chicken running away from a sort of heat. And whatever you are, you see that you can reduce the temperature right there. And when they are clutching close to the heat, it means the temperature is low. You increase it from whatever you are. So it is, they will have solar panel, we have inverter, all those things. So we don't, it's self-sustaining in terms of energy. And then right on the feet, we also have what we call smart irrigation. Smart irrigation. You can also be anywhere in the world and just click a button, and then irrigation is initiated. We have equipment that read the moisture content. Once there's enough water in the soil, it will trigger off smart irrigation. So those are the things we are training our students on. You know, we are capturing the youth. Youth are very, when you talk of handset, computer, they are very versatile. Your son now, if you ask him to, you know how smart they are. So those are the youth we are capturing. So that it's a way of encouraging them. Look, you don't always need to sleep in poultry pen. You are encouraging them, catch them young, so that they can have interest in agriculture. I can tell you for sure that when during admission, we force them to agric. They prefer microbiology, engineering, food tech, and whatever. So the few ones that are here now, we encourage them, and so they pick interest. As we speak now, even the poultry, they have a share. They were trained, they sell, they take the profit. They have a share, the university have a share. The capital, they return it for the upcoming, another set that will come up.
3 of the students on practicals at the poultry brooding hatchery system with their supervisor speak.
At first, it was my daddy's idea because you know the present situation of Nigeria about food in Nigeria. Then afterwards, I did ND before coming here, so I gained the interest in practicing in agriculture. That's why I decided to further in Funaab'S to have more experience. My dad's opinion too, but from home. My daddy is practicing farming. We have farm. Yes, like we are planting maize, cassava. So from there, and also my daddy is working at Oyo State College of Agriculture. He's in feed mill department. So she loved the agri stuff. So she now encouraged me to go for agri now. So I did my ND at Oyo State College of Agriculture. I studied animal production and health. Okay. So now I decided to continue the
studies. Before, I want to become a medical laboratory tech. So my daddy just talked to me on agriculture. So he said that nowadays people are going into agriculture and there is money there.
Water system. Okay.
And then we have what we call the CCTV camera. All these things are connected to what we have inside. The battery is to generate heat that is used for brooding the chickens inside. When we get inside, you will see some pipes that are laid down, into which we have some bulbs connected. So when we are at the brooding stage, the whole place is covered up. So instead of using charcoal or using petrol or diesel to run generator to produce heat and light, we use solar energy support produced by water. So this is ready.
Professor Kende discloses further are the steps taken to widen the scope of agriculture on the campus.
All these that we have been doing, they are going to come into fruition within the next, for many of them, within the next 6 months. We'll see the outcome. I'll give you examples, concrete examples. Harvest field, they started planting soybean, and because of the hectarage involved, at least for now, over 100 hectares. You can't finish planting that. It may take maybe about 1.5 weeks. And so, soybean will take about 4 to 5 months for you to bring it out, to harvest it and to process it into grains and seeds. And so, for that one, they started September, October, November. By around December, January, we will see that they will be selling. And then for maize, they are going to plant maize. The maize should come out around November, December. We'll start harvesting the maize. But we have some that we have started harvesting. For instance, I told you about NOLAP. NOLAP is a joint venture between that organization and Funaab'S. Initially, they have planted tomato. They harvested tomato since 2 months ago up till about 3 weeks ago. For a space of about 4 weeks, they were harvesting tomato. People came from town to come and buy. Those inside the school, they also had the opportunity to buy. So for that one, it has reached maturity. That is one. 2, they planted maize. And since the past 3 weeks, they've been selling maize, NOLAP farms. I think you have pictures of market women coming to buy the maize. So that one matured at that period. As we speak, that company too, that farm, they have started raising 500 turkey birds. So by December, the turkey will be ready for sale. You know, December, let's see, the end of the year merriment and all of that. They will churn out about 500 into the market for sale. For what we also can do, well, we also plan for that period. So we are raising turkey. We have about 60 that we will put to the market. About 60. And so these things for the yam. The yam will come in about 12 months time, 12-13 months, because by the time we go to plant finally, it will be around October, November. So it will come out about 11 months after. So these things will keep maturing. And the reality is that when one finishes, it's a cycle that we're trying to follow. For instance, that NOLAP, this October, they are going in again for dry season tomato. For us too, the Directorate of University Farms planted tomato, they planted some vegetables. This dry season, they're also going into vegetable production for the dry season. Amaranthus, celosia, tomato, cucumber, and all of that, and watermelon. So we are going into that this month and October to bring them out around January, February. So these are the periods. So hopefully now that we have started, from time to time, we'll keep harvesting and keep selling these things.
In our own little way, helping to mitigate the food insecurity that we have in the country. For years now, we've been producing maize, people coming from far and near, eggs, table egg production, broiler production, and pig, in fact, name it, all aspects of our pepper, tomato. So we have been involved in that. But then we know, by virtue of our core mandate, and we are limited by budgetary constraint, there's an extent that we can go. So what we have done now is to leverage on the expertise that we have and the arable land that we have to now go into partnership. And we've been able to sign a number of partnerships with credible organizations who are coming to the university, investors who are bringing their funding, and then we're going to partner with them. And we believe that with that, our impact is going to be more felt. For instance, even in dairy, livestock production, somebody is on, no lab is coming, they're already planting their forage, their pastures, and they're going to come with improved breeds of animals, dairy animals. So we're going to have a dairy on the farm.
The Institute for Food Security, Environmental Resources and Agricultural Research, IFSERA, headed by Professor Alabajola Osho, is research-oriented and contributory to practical farming in a bid to modernize agriculture. It is engaged in various farming projects, including livestock, crop research, environmental, bioscience, agricultural mechanization, fishery, and food processing. The Institute, in addition, promotes indigenous technology and weather forecasting through its station with the installation of an early warning system for climate-induced agricultural disasters in Nigeria. It is a TED Fund assistance project in collaboration with the World Bank, NIMED, and a number of academic institutions. Professor Jola Osho sheds more light on the center's activities.
And at the moment, we are even going into indigenous knowledge, which is the solution. Looking at the economic situation of Nigeria, there are things that with indigenous knowledge, it can be solved. Instead of spending expensive money, and even drugs are very expensive now, even under all our programs, indigenous knowledge cuts across. Recently now, we have a research, because every month we do seminar presentation. Researchers come in with their output. The latest one had to do with using garlic for poultry. And of course, we blew it up because we have very fantastic results. And not only that, we are into production too, in the sense that it may not be large quantity, but whatever we see from our research, we try to.
Cattle Farm Director Olushola discloses the cross-breeding research efforts of the Institute, as well as other officials placed in charge of sorghum soya bean research with the Chinese university, banana plantation, and beekeeping.
You have the Kalahari and the Kalawad. The Kalahari is the brown goat, while the Kalawad is has the white color. That we have seen the impact. In fact, some farmers do come for it to purchase the animals for their own breeding too. The Kalawad is a product of a UNAM research, the crossbreeding between the dwarf, West African dwarf goat and Kalahari. That gave us a Kalawad.
It's just the experimental plot. We want to experiment. We have 20 varieties of sorghum already, and we are adding 3 local varieties to it, making 23, and we are going to try them on this plot. Anyone that gives us highest yield, maybe the first 3, we collate them, then we multiply those varieties, and these are the ones that will be reproducing all the time, so that we can have enough sorghum for the university and for the country at large. The varieties that we have on ground were brought from Hubei University of Technology from China. They want us to try the 20 variety for them and give them the best. So, and we have been instructed that we should have our own local variety, about 3 of them, so that we know the one that will perform best. And having done that on the trial plot, these are our trial plots. By the time we raise them, we take some data, go into some researches and see which one that is promising. Anyone that is promising, that's the one we are going to pick.
Sorghum is important for the mutin inside, for industry. And we have a lot of dairies around here, and we have been bringing sorghum from the north. Is it not better for us to start producing sorghum here as a University of Agri when we have the land? So that's part of the advantage that we're having with it coming with this variety. Then we are looking at it that the varieties, we can look at institutes too. We are not doing it alone. We are collaborating with other institutes. Even the people from China, they know that we are working, they too, they are involved, that we are collaborating with other institutes. Then don't forget that we have IR&T in Napri over there, and they have lots of grains, and we are going to collect from the university that have the information about these plants. Normally the idea we have about local varieties is that they grow very tall and they could be due to lodging. So their own may be short, but we have not planted all these ones. We want to compare them.
2 hectares of sesame. We have some here. Over there too, we have done the plowing, first plowing. But because of the rain, we're still waiting for the rain. Once it rains, immediately we harrow it and we plant immediately. But we can't do it now because of the rain. Sesame seed, once we it's good for production. I mean for export. We are going to export it. We've had a lot of profit from it, so we're planning to export it. We can use it for oil, and also the seed itself is eating. You use this in treating diseases like heart attack, blood pressure, cocaine, cancer. So it's used primarily for health issues. People use it to treat, especially the BP. People with high BP, we mix it with other things and use it for them. Mostly again, it's used for oil. So, but for us here, we are not doing the. We are not using it. We're going to export it. We are more of the profit now. That is what we are going into, to make profit from it.
Here we're trying to do the establishment for production. The fruit, when it's mature, is good, and the suckers too. And we are trying to also expand it, the acreage. We are trying to get revenue for the university. For example, after harvesting, we are selling to the university community and the suckers too. People that are interested, that want to buy suckers, because suckers are very, very expensive and scarce nowadays. So we will sell suckers too, and it's a form of income to the university.
Apiary is the study of beekeeping. Is another name for apiary. We have some beehives inside this bush, which bees are there. The number of hives that we have just 8 here. We have more on the campus. We have 20 on the campus. There's something that gave us. We have 8 hives here.
Okay.
And we do late harvest during dry season. Now we can't harvest because it's raining now. They are now colonizing and laying eggs. Agricultural practices. Apiary is self-sustaining because bees goes into different flower to harvest. We don't need to feed them, but in the beehives we can get up to, and it's less than a meter. We can get up to 6 to 10 liters from just one beehives. From those 8 we have now, we can get up to maybe 45 liters of honey. And now we are selling a liter of honey, 7,000 pure honey, 7,000 per liter. The moment you, construct the beehives, if it doesn't fall, it can stay up to 5 years. Markets all over, Nigeria and abroad.
Let me start from crop. In Funaab, for example, we had developed new varieties of other rice. New variety of other rice. It was researched and the outcome was tested throughout the regions, all the regions in Nigeria. And at the end of it, both on station, out station, whatever, on farm stimulation, these are now disseminated to farmer. So a farmer in Ogun State and majorly in southwest Nigeria can now plant different variety of other rice that we have. I want to say this center is the center that brings town and gown together. We are the link between the town and gown. Because I said proven technologies are taking to all these farmers in their own localities to better their life. And at different occasions, we also invite all these stakeholders in agriculture for training workshop within the campus. And we hear their own idea. We don't just impose anything on them. Recently, we carried out what is called indigenous knowledge technology. That is inviting the farmer, harvesting their own ideas, what they have upstairs, so that we don't allow it to bury. And there are some vegetables too that are lost vegetables, lost crop in Nigeria, that these farmers are no longer planting. We have replica of those plants here, and I can tell you farmers are also planting that now. For example, Asala is there. Our farmers are not planting Asala here. Our farmers are not planting Agbanyu. Our farmers are not planting Ebolo. These are all lost crop. There is what is called Bologi. There's another one called Worowo. Our farmers are planting it now, which has gone into extinctions. Now we've also encouraged what is called market garden within the town. You are a person or member of the public that live in town, that at your backyard you can do what is called urban agriculture.
Appropriating the smooth running of all these activities will no doubt involve both administrative and financial inputs. Former acting registrar of the university, Mrs. Tony Dawudu, and Bursar, Elder Olukayode Oshinoga, explained.
The Federal University of Agriculture, ably led by the Vice Chancellor, Professor Olushola Obatunde Kehinde, has keyed into this vision of the nation that we must boost agriculture. And in this wise, so many strides have been taking place in this university since last year or thereabout. In line with this, we've had so many contributions to make towards agriculture. They have been coming to this university. We've been signing series of memorandum of understanding with them, agreements here and there. And of note is the tomato plantation that we have on our campus. And there are so many others. The Vice Chancellor has been doing so much, putting in so much energy and time and resources into all of these things so that we can achieve so much in this wise. And encouraging people to have farms on the campus. Lands have been allocated to staff to have their farms. They ensured that anybody that comes to us to want to have any partnership with us, we'll ask them, prepare what you intend us to do. The legal unit runs through it, goes through it painstakingly, the content of the agreement before we go ahead to sign, so that there won't be a situation whereby this is not what we agreed upon. The two parties will look through the document before entering into any partnership at all.
And when this present Vice Chancellor came to office, I'm talking of a Professor Olushola Obatunde Kehinde, one of the cardinal objectives is to see how the third mandate of the university, which is because this university is based on teaching, learning, and research, and community engagement. And we believe that agriculture plays a very important role in the economic development. Then, therefore, as a university, it now becomes a policy for us to see how we can contribute to the revitalization of agriculture, especially now that the present administration in the Federation is talking about the food security. And food security is key. Without food, we don't have energy. And that's why this university decided to be part of that dream, that vision, that we make food available at a very reasonable price.
as a unit, ours is to provide funds. Fund is very key in any women activities. We are life wire. We are the blood of any program in the university, and ours to ensure that we provide necessary funding to ensure that the program runs successfully and without any issue. And that's exactly what we have been doing in terms of budgeting, mobilization, and disbursement of funds as at when due to various units and departments that involve in this program, because the program is all-encompassing. Funding is key. Resources must be available. Agriculture nowadays is a business. It's no more the kind of activities we used to know, and it's a capital intensive. And we don't have that enough at our disposal, and that's why we are trying to open up to the private sector and see how they can bring in their own resources with the little we can provide. Because as a university, we have the land, we have the experts on ground, and we believe by the time we join hands together, in form of a joint venture or what have you, then we can provide the necessary funding. And let me just use this opportunity to call on the government to come and assist us in this scheme, in this revitalization program.
Giving prominence to the university's transformative outlook in this circumstance will be enormous.
Olasukomi Olajide
is the acting head, Directorate of Public Relations.
Let me first of all appreciate the Vice Chancellor, Professor Olushola Babatunde Kehinde, because the Directorate of Public Relations, the enabling environment to try to succeed and to work very well on our core mandate, which is to project the university's image. Our input has always been, the Vice Chancellor has always put us into consideration by any time that he wants to go on the field. He has always put the Directorate of Public Relations at the forefront, because he knows the importance of dissemination of information and the kind of relationship with the stakeholders. Aspect of the job we've been going, using the channels that is available to the public relations. First and foremost, once we process our stories on our Funaab'S bulletin, we take it from there and we replicate it on our social media handles, and we also put it on the university website.
No doubt, putting things in place is not without its attendant challenges. The Vice Chancellor noted that the agricultural revitalization is not a child's play.
There are challenges, but you see, I'm saying all of this because where there is a will, there will always be a way. For instance, I give you an example. We have this land, but people may think that planting crops or even livestock, because we're also doing some livestock. Let me take planting crops for instance. Planting crops is a thing, you just go there, you just put them down, you plant, and then you harvest. No. When we enter partnership with Harvest Field initially wanted to clear 250 hectares. And so it was a case of, we want to clear 250 hectares. We need bulldozers. These are virgin lands, forests areas, with trees that you must first of all bring down before you can go in ahead, because you can go in and plow, harrow, plant, and all of that. And when they went to organizations, institutions, agencies that can clear these areas, what they had, first of all, was very discouraging. I mean, charges to the tune of over 100 million. Over 100 million. And so, that's why we say, as a university, where do we get 120 million just to bulldoze land? Plowing, harrowing is not yet there. And then, of course, there's also the problem of labor. Down here, honestly, labor is an issue. Getting labor. Of course, people may say, you go and make it modern so that it will be all planting with the machinery should do it and all of that. But also, individuals who will handle these machineries must also be there. And the cost of labor is quite high around here. So that's why sometimes even the food, we all hear that, oh, is this amount, is that amount, because what goes in usually much. Look at fertilizer. A bag now is about 40,000. Fertilizer that we are buying for 6,000, 5,006, 7,000. So it's now 40,000. So there are challenges, but we are committed to overcoming them.
Even with the growing need to upscale into modern mechanized farming, Professor Adebayo believes with the current focus of the leadership, Funaab is on the path of gaining more grounds in technology transfer, even with the developed nations.
2 to 3 months is that other universities with faculties of agriculture or universities of agriculture like ours are beginning to come to our university. Now, for us, that is a serious feedback. It means that, you know, students meet at other platforms. They meet either at NYSC or in the places of work where they are employed. And they talk to each other. So, where did you train that you knew all of these things? And when they begin to say, Funaab, we are trained in Funaab, then the feedback also gets to their institutions. And we have had visitors, even from much older universities than our universities. We have had from younger universities, at least 5 different universities have sent the people responsible for the training of their undergraduates in agriculture to come and see, understudy us as a university. In fact, one university throughout the last 2 weeks brought its own student to come and train with our student. Because they see all of these things, they hear all of these things, they hear what our students say about the training they receive, they hear what the employers of labor say about what the graduates from agriculture from Finland compared to graduates in agriculture in other places say. And this for us is even a stronger feedback than the ranking by global authorities who didn't even visit our campus. One of the things that we are doing, currently there is what we call the project 50-50 between Africa and China. And 50 universities in Africa were selected to participate in that project. And this was at the African level. Of all the universities in Africa, we were picked as one of those 50 to partner with sister universities in China. So another 50 was selected from China. We were aligned with Lanzhou University in China. Lanzhou University is one of the best universities of agriculture in China. So it's like for like. So we were around because we are the best in Africa, we are the best in China. Well, that is bringing quite a lot of new dynamics into what we do. Things that we have not done in the last 1.5 years. Things that we might start doing in the next few months and might even lead us into the next decade.
With what is on the ground, what prospect for Funaab in the years to come? DVC Academic advances that the reputation of Funaab will rise.
So these students now, by the time they go out and they graduate, they are major marketers, they are our clients, they are our ambassadors, they tell others about what we do. And so what we try to do is that we try to inculcate in them the idea of excellence, quality assurance, and also agricultural revitalization. The Funaab has always been a university that people love over the years. There's no doubt about that. But I think now the ranking has massively improved. The rating has also massively improved. The reputation is very much on the rise now. The governments, the industries, the communities, everybody now is talking about our university. So in the years to come, I see Funaab doing much more and contributing very significantly to the issue of ending hunger and then contributing to food security. As we speak now, Funaab is easily the best university of agriculture in Nigeria. There's no doubt about that. By far, there's no doubt about that. And I say that with all sense of responsibility. It's easily the best university of agriculture in Nigeria, but not just the best university of agriculture in Nigeria, also in Africa, by Times Higher Education ranking. We are excited when we talk about that all the time, and it's the 7th best in the whole wide world. So in a few years to come, I see this university competing very strongly with other universities all over the world, to the extent that perhaps we will not be talking about the 7th best all over the world now, or we're talking about perhaps the first 3. universities of agriculture in the whole wide world. That's our target in the next few years, and I know that we'll surely get it.
The Vice-Chancellor corroborates, including other input on the campus through the Energizing Education Program, meant to make the conduct of activities on campus much more lively and comfortable.
Around June, precisely, June-July, we planted about 3,600 seedlings of cocoa, about 3,625 or thereabout seedlings of cocoa. And we hope that by the time they mature and start producing in the next 4 or 5 years, it will also add to what we can churn out from here. And by the time they produce and they start producing, the reality is that it's not out of place for us to also process this thing, the cocoa seeds, the cocoa beans, into paste and all of that to add value to it. Also, we want to appreciate the federal government because there is this program that they brought up, EEP, Energizing Education Program, EEP, coordinated by Rural Electrification Agency, REA. And so first phase it went, but for second phase, Funaab'S was included in the second phase. And as we speak, we have a 3 megawatts solar farm, solar plants that will supply us with needed electricity almost 24/7.
In summary, the lot achieved in making a change under the leadership of Professor Olushola Babatunde Kehinde within a year plus of his appointment as the 7th Vice-Chancellor of Funaab can only be attributed to an African proverb which says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Victoria Odio Atsem. This simply shows the multiplier effect of what teamwork and cooperation could achieve, as seen deployed in the running of Funaab'S affairs. In other words, only time will tell how far Funaab would have been transformed by the time Professor Kehinde ends his tenure on the 3rd of April 2028. The end result is likely to be an attribute from another African proverb: there is no beauty but the beauty of action. This is reassuring as many more actions are being taken in furtherance of the agenda of the institution's founding fathers to make Funaab campus a beauty to behold in the studying and practice of agriculture.